EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live opening round coverage of the BioWare Classic. Getting set for all the action on what my idol Vin Scully would have said was a beautiful afternoon here in the Sunshine State. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo for EA Sports. Getting ready at Wetlands Golf and Country Club. An interesting layout, Frank. The players are ready to go, and what are you thinking about as you get set to tee off?
Well, you're thinking about you're going to play a long golf course, sort of mid-7,000 yard range, but this is a golf course that you actually do get to hit your driver more often than not. So it's a good driving golf course. Green's relatively flat as well, but be careful if you're a little weak of heart. Look left or right, you might see the odd gator or two.
Playing his second shot here at the par 5. This could be really good, Frank.
Oh, straight at it.
That is tasty looking right there, Frank. Just a perfect spot in the fairway.
That is prime real estate. How do you get a lie like that? Seriously, you could hit any club from there.
Third shot, looking for a good one. Good swing, good shot yet again. On the green, and a chance for birdie here on the first hole. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Well, you couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. He has this attempt for par. And with that par, suddenly inside the top 20. Strong par 5 to start, followed by a good par 3. The second hole is 225 yards.
Two bunkers, Rich, when you look at this par 3. In between is a nice corridor. And that's really the line that you want to be looking at going at this par 3. Just thread the gap, and you should safely find the green. Well, it was almost like that's what he wanted to do, but why would you want it to run over the back?
Second shot coming out of the rough here. Frank, when you look at great rivalries in sports, you realize that athletes need each other. Joe Frazier needed Muhammad Ali to achieve greatness, to achieve legendary status. And in golf, Tom Watson needed Jack Nicklaus to push him to another level.
And also to define an era. Without one, we couldn't think of the 80s or the 90s or the 2000s or the 2010s. You need those players to define that era. So you need competition. Competition is not without rivalry.
That one is in the fairway, down there about 290 yards. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
Maybe try up next. Frank going for another birdie here.
Just to get on a real roll.
Pretty good effort right there. Getting set now over the putt. One under early in the round. We have already begun. Let's pick up with the action at hole number 4. Frank, when you get out of the gates, as our featured golfer has done, with a lot of pars, steady play, what's the mindset?
You've got to keep doing that, Rich. Just maybe get a little closer to the hole, drive a little bit better, work on the pace of the putting. Just little gains, and then all of a sudden you're going to notice a big difference in the scorecard.
That was like Usain Bolt, Frank, right through the tape.
Yeah, that first step, that was never going to stop.
Second shot, good look at the green. and he's made it onto the green now. These putts keep the round together. That is a solid par putt. Second round coverage coming your way tomorrow. For our entire crew, I'm Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo. So long for now. EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live second-round coverage of the BioWare Classic. Frank, the handicap system in golf really is the great equalizer, isn't it?
Yeah, there's no sport like it. I can't imagine going to Wimbledon and playing, sort of Djokovic or Federer or, playing NFL with Peyton Manning. But, the beauty of golf, we can go out in a golf course. We decide what our handicaps are on the first tee. We decide who's going to get strokes, and then off you go and play. And you play on a level playing field.
Headed for the bunker? Not what he wanted, but he's headed to the beach. And the tee shot ends up in the bunker. Digs in, ready for the bunker shot.
Yeah, second shot here. Just try and aim a little bit behind that ball, an inch or two.
That is classy.
Well, a chance of going in.
Locked in on the read and the speed. That is a solid par putt right there. Par 4 11th, 443 yards. What's the best strategy here, Frank?
Somehow find the fairway, Rich. This is brutal. Miss it left or miss it right. But it's Florida. Fairways are wide enough, soft enough. But a good tee shot's still going to leave you a lengthy second. Long and straight.
That's how you do it. He has given this one the full treatment. Perfect release through the ball, and this shot is on the fairway, over 300 yards. Ready for his second shot, trying to knock it on the green. He's hit the green, but his work is by no means finished. A difficult putt coming up from about 25 feet. Made a par in his previous round. This time, it's for birdie. Frank, I thought that was in. Kind of a tricky read. Not a gimme, but well within his range. Well, Frank, he'll drop at least one shot here. That was not his best effort.
No, poor is the easiest way to put that. He knows it.
Just a couple of feet. Good putt. Stepping up to the tee at the first par 5 on this back nine. It's the 12th, and it is 576 yards.
Yeah, this hole bends to the right, opposite direction to what 11 does. A good tee shot, and you can actually think about reaching this par 5 and 2, but anything around the front or front left, still going to leave a relatively simple pitch shot. So when you stand on that tee, think of birdie at least here.
We moved that one out there, but he is not going to like the lie.
That moved down in the rough.
Second shot coming out of the rough here. So missed the fairway, and now he's back where he needs to be.
Yeah, minimize the problems.
Now his third, staring right at the green. That will be a great look at birdie. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. Wow, I thought it was going in just off the mark by a fraction. Nudge this one home, finish it up. And he makes it for par. Here we go at the par 4 13th, 452 yards. What's the best angle of attack?
The straight line really is the best way here, like a lot of holes on the golf course. But straight, as we know, is not often easy. Fairway does start to widen up the further out there you come on for a little extra. Oh, huge.
Ooh.
Huge with a capital H.
Busted that. Nicely played shot, about 310 yards down the fairway. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special. Oh, solid strike right in the heart of the green.
So a chance for birdie after another solid approach shot. Birdie putt coming up. Had a par on this hole yesterday.
A few more birdies like that, and Rich, you never know, just might sneak place on the podium.
In the top 10 right now. Good par 3 here at the 14th. It's a little bit more than 200 yards, Frank.
And there's a bunker short, so you've got to fly that coming in there. And if you do miss time one, that's when that body of water to the right really comes into play. Typical Floridian golf, but high-flying, soft-landing tee shot, once again, is the goal.
And he's set up for his second shot here, looking to knock it on the green.
Another good swing, another good approach shot.
Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. They'll take it. That's a par. Final par 5 on the backside here at the Wetlands, 590 yards. Well, no other way to say it, Frank. That's just an awful shot.
Bad.
Frank, he's cranking it and banking it. Giant drives, a boatload of birdies. What a round.
Yeah, these are the days you just dream for. We know golf's not that easy, but on a day like today, savor it and just keep going. Keep doing it.
So from the rough back to the fairway, that's the right way to go.
Yeah, didn't take the bait, and at least now he's only going to play the price of a poor tee shot. Still got a good chance, though, getting away with par.
That's well played. Oh, good look at birdie.
It's at sneaky distance.
Well, that would have been a bonus had it gone in, but still, reasonable chance for par here.
Yeah, there's no damage. You're not going to birdie every hole.
Man.
I just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. Just a tap in to finish the hole. And he has it.
A good putt redeems all.
So that is the end of the second round. I can't wait to get back at it tomorrow, Frank.
We got a great leaderboard right now, Rich. So many players in contention. Golf course, there's enough blend of good and hard holes. Really, it's up for grabs.
EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live third-round coverage of the BioWare Classic. Well, here we are at the Wetlands Golf and Country Club. We're located along the St. Johns River in the Sunshine State, Florida. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo for EA Sports. Frank, what stands out when you look at the Wetlands?
The swampland, the gators, really it's a good driving golf course, Rich. Not a lot of fairway bunkers in play here at Wetlands, but if you drive the ball well here, you really can get a good score out here at Wetlands. They play the web.com here every now and again, so we've seen some good scores over the years, but always fun to be playing in Florida. Sun on your back, warm golf conditions. Game's about rhythm. When you have good rhythm, it just looks effortless. To hit the ball 300 yards through the air, that easy.
Officials are calling that one around 310 yards. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. Good, clean contact and a nice result. And a chance for birdie coming up. Par yesterday. Now for birdie.
Sneaking into contention here with that birdie.
Top 15 now on the leaderboard. Here's another scoring opportunity, Frank, a par 5. The 7th is just a shade under 600 yards.
And it bends gently to the left, Rich. Longer hitters can obviously get home, and nothing really to be worrying about with that second shot if you can reach. The wetlands are well to the right of this hole for the second shot. But if you want to play to the three-shotter, then that's a very safe, conservative way and really shouldn't cause you any problems whatsoever.
Good contact, good result. Players aren't just grabbing any old golf club these days, Frank. It's about spin rate and launch angle and all of those sorts of concepts.
Yeah, and the grooves. All those things help the player. Even the loft on wedges now. Loft is increased. We now see 64, 65-degree sand irons, so they get the ball up quicker and it stops quicker.
Frank, that ball's sitting up like it's on plush carpeting.
Rich, if you and I had lies like that every time, we'd still be playing this game for a living.
Third shot, looking for a good one. Can't hide the flagstick from that man. Back-to-back birdies, we'll see.
All things pointed to a good week. Birdie there, very important right now.
Playing some good golf. On to the 8th. It's a par 3, 203 yards. What's going on here, Frank?
Interesting par 3, really. It looks anything other than a straightaway hole. That bunker short of this green gives you like an optical illusion. You think it's lapping up with the front of this green, but there's actually sort of 3 or 4 yards before you get to the putting surface. A little bit of a drop-off behind this green, and it narrows out the deeper the green gets. So a tricky little par 3.
Good swing, good shot yet again. No problems there. Really good approach shot. And now, good look at birdie. Birdie try again here today. Had a nice birdie on this hole yesterday. Oh my goodness, Frank, that is painful.
Oh, yeah, you'd rather miss the hole at times, wouldn't you?
Clean this up with a tap. Good work right there. He'll settle for par. Frank, looking at this par 5 ninth hole, it's 621 yards. I need to make birdie here. What's the best way to go about it?
Well, if you're a long hitter, then there's a chance you can reach this par 5 and 2, Rich. But really the best way to make birdie here, good tee shot, and then contemplate the layup. In between the first two bunkers, there's a nice section of fairway, and that's not going to leave you much in for that third shot to a green that's very receptive. So really, birdie can be made the hard way, wedge and a putt.
That one is in the fairway, down there about 290 yards.
Second shot.
Slight waggle, relaxed arms, ready to go. Not terrible, but not his best.
An outside chance, really, for birdie, but really, it was a rather poor approach shot.
That was not a very good read right there. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. Doesn't dig into the lead with that par, but Frank, sometimes, and you know this as well as anyone, you just have to kind of maintain your footing out there. Just a superb performance on the front side. He's hoping to keep it going here on the back nine, Frank.
The game is so much easier when you're swinging well, putts are going in. Really, you've just got to keep out of your own way.
Good chance at one. Well on the green, but far from the hole.
A little bit of a head scratcher. A lot of work coming up here.
This is a pretty long putt here. You'd be happy to get this to within 2 or 3 feet. You really want to take the stress out of that next putt.
You'd like that one again.
Tough start to the backside, Frank.
Yeah, it doesn't bode well, too. You start losing confidence with the putter early on.
He has this for par. And he makes it for par. Frank, you've been there at so many tournaments around the world. One round to go, a chance to win. What's that feeling like?
Oh, this is the fun part, knowing whether or not your body can handle the situation. You've got to push it to the limit. But that's what sport and golf is all about. Trying to do something that you've dreamed of for so long.
EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live final round coverage of the BioWare Classic. Hello again and welcome. Rich Lauder alongside my colleague Frank Novelo for EA Sports. Getting set to go at the Wetlands Golf and Country Club. We're located along the St. Johns River in the great state of Florida. Now to the par 4 13th. Frank, what are the options here?
Well, another straight one required here, Rich. It's 450. It's not overly long in today's standard, but still, that fairway widens up where the longer hitters will actually hit. And bunkers, once again, short of a green. So as long as you can fly that second shot to at least the front of the green, then they really do not come into play.
Be a little disappointed with that because it lands in the rough and it appears to be fairly thick over there. He's knocked it on the green, but not in a great position. This is a difficult chance coming up here. Long birdie try. Now this for birdie came away with par in the previous round. Looks like he just misread that. Locked in on the read and the speed. Nothing wrong with that par putt. Fourteenth hole here at the Wetlands. A dangerous par 3 comes in at 204 yards. There's some trouble out there.
And this is where you have to readjust your focus. If you start looking right or left of this green, you see all the problems that could come in and prevail. Instead, just look at that front bunker. Try and fly your tee shot over that, somewhere around the front edge of the green, maybe 3 or 4 yards on, and then the hole becomes that much easier.
Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
Frank not close, but not bad either.
You can always make the odd 20-footer, and that's exactly how far they are away.
Birdie chance here. Very long putt, though.
Got to be a little careful if it gets away on him.
You couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. So a tester from 4 feet. And he has it.
A good putt redeems all.
Final par 5 on the backside here at the Wetlands. It's 590 yards.
Which is really a tempting yardage. A good tee shot, perhaps think of reaching the par 5 and 2. But this green well protected by 3 bunkers, 2 on the left side and 1 short right. But hey, fortune favors the brave. At least that's what I was told. Oh, that was sweet. Straight down the middle.
Looks like he's going to have a go at it here at the par 5. His second shot. Now his third, staring right at the green. Good chance now for a birdie. That was an outstanding play.
Well, it's almost a guarantee there after that shot.
Par yesterday. Now for birdie. Starting to move on this leaderboard now, Frank.
It's got a nice look to it. Another who's who.
16th hole at the Wetlands is a par 4, 455 yards.
Once again, another reward for a straight tee shot, but this green heavily guarded by sand. So, good tee shot, and, well, this one, you're going to have to hit one of the better iron shots required at Wetlands.
Good news is, Frank, you can see the golf ball. I guess the bad news is that's kind of an uncertain lie in that mulch.
Yeah, there's nothing really good about that. You'd rather it be in the rough.
This is a good-looking shot. See if you can get this one to drop here at the 16th for a birdie. And it's a long way to the hole from here. Never easy. Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
Never a bad score on the card. That's par. Par 3 17th. Frank, it's 238 yards.
And still a chance for birdie here, though. Green shape's a little bit to the player's right, so a nice high draw coming in here. Even finding the middle of the putting surface will give you a chance to putt to really any position on this green.
Birdie try up next. This is a cross-country special. Could it be? Player knows they're on the move with that birdie. Quick glance at the leaderboard. They can see, Frank, they're not out of it.
Things are very volatile right now.
Final hole here at the Wetlands Golf and Country Club. It's par 4. It's not a long one, 377 yards. There must be some trouble out there somewhere.
Well, not really if you keep your wits about you. Just position the tee shot. You don't have to hit driver down here. Even a 3-wood's only going to leave a short iron. If you hit 3-wood, 250, 260 yards, do the maths, it's only 120 yards left. With that, with a scoring club, try and get that inside 10, 15 feet. Finish with a birdie.
But if you stray, then what?
Oh, no, we don't think of straying on this hole. This is the last hole. Got to finish well.
But I'm thinking about gators. Are there gators out there?
Well, there's gator on the menu.
Always want that last drive of the day to be a good one, and they've done it. That is excellent. Another good swing, and it looks like, Frank, another really good shot. That one inside of 10 feet, really dialed in. Not a gimme, but well within his range.
That was cruel. It looked like it was certainly going in.
For the par. That's a solid par. Still in it, Frank. Frank, it was a great setting with great crowds. We saw plenty of very good golf. Your thoughts?
Well, I think the course really extracted some of the golf that we saw. It forced these players to play just some great golf. And it wasn't just like a pitch and a putt golf course. So I think seeing the guys tested, seeing the players tested at this level, it was a treat.
This is EA Sports PGA Tour coverage coming your way. Welcome to the Stadium Course, TPC Scottsdale in Arizona. It's a masterful blend of challenge and playability designed by the team of Tom Weisskopf and Jay Morrish. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo for EA Sports.
The changes, Rich, they made in 2014 have just added a luster to this great venue that hosts the PGA Tour event each and every year. And it's a great test for any level of play.
We have already begun. Let's pick up with the action at hole number 4. Early in the round and playing reasonably well. Nothing great, but has certainly not given a whole lot away.
Yeah, and actually a good position to really springboard the round from here.
Headed for the bunker? That one is in the bunker. And the tee shot ends up in the bunker. All right, so greenside bunker. What's he looking to do with this shot, Frank?
Well, really you have to look at the amount of green you got to play with. You don't have to try and fly the ball right by the flag. Allow it to run. Plus, if you can get it to run like a putt, you never know. It might just go in.
This is going to be a tough day on the links. I mean, even the seagulls are walking to work. Solid play, heart of the green.
Even par currently.
Still even par for the day. Now to the 5th hole and a challenging par 4.
Slightly longer this year, played off a new tee at the back, and there used to be 2 bunkers down the right side. They've now been put together to form one and in the perfect position that really make you think about your tee shot. It takes a very big drive to try and carry that bunker on the right. It's going to be at least 315 plus yards to get past that. Green itself still tilts a little left to right and back towards the player.
That's a good start to the hole, right down the middle. To where the hole is cut, just about 190 yards, Frank. Well, this is the kind of strong wind that will really test a player. That one is bunker bound, it looks like. Well, he'll have to get up and down from the bunker to save his par. Getting some sand in the shoes now. We're a second straight hole, he's in the bunker. Frank, there's nothing like catching a bunker shot just perfectly, splashes out, lands softly, and just runs up to that hole.
Yeah, it's like 3D. There's the component in the strike where it's going to land, and then the third part of it is how much will it roll.
Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Oh, man.
Just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. These putts keep the round together. Just a shade over par, +1. Now to the par 4 6th. Decision time, Frank. Driver, where do you go with 3-wood?
A lot of that's going to depend on if there's any breeze. If the breeze is at your back, you can drive it all the way down the right side and take those two bunkers down the right completely out of play. This hole's been stiffened up, though. The length hasn't increased, but that bunkering in that choke point. So, the strategy. Do you have the length to get past them? Or, if you have to lay up, it's going to leave a much longer second shot. He goes after it like he is here.
And that ball is absolutely scorched. Just hit a seed out there.
Smoked that one.
Officials calling that one around 310 yards. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Frank, why are great rivalries so important? Why do we love them?
I think because people like to sit on one side of the fence. You're either for or against a great player. And I think we see that today with Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy. There's the McIlroy fans that think his future is so bright. There's the Woods fans that still want him to pass Jack Nicklaus's record. That's the beauty. You've got to have an opinion, and you have to have a player.
That is a really good shot landing close to the flagstick. This one just requires a little bit of focus. Setting himself up for a good weekend, the wily golf instructor makes his birdie. Frank, where's the difficulty here on the 7th hole, the par 3 of more than 200 yards?
Well, Rich, front hole locations are always probably the toughest here because that's the narrowest part of the green. Bunkering really hasn't changed, and the green still does widen up, but the hole tends to play slightly uphill.
Well, this is the kind of wind that separates the great players from the average players. You really have to be strong to handle these kinds of winds.
Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. And yet again, he has hit it off the tee and into the bunker. Great professionals, Frank, they don't fear the greenside bunker shot, do they?
No, because you can be as aggressive or as conservative as you want. You actually have far more options. And you don't have to hit the ball first.
I'll tell you what, Phil the Thrill, Phil Mickelson could not have done it any better. What a bunker shot. Getting set now over the putt. Well, not in contention, but in for par. Don't forget, second round coverage coming your way tomorrow here on EA Sports for our entire crew. I'm Rich Lerner saying so long for now.
This is EA Sports PGA Tour coverage coming up next. Set in the Sonoran Desert and surrounded by the majestic McDowell Mountains, we're at the stadium course at TPC Scottsdale in Arizona. Hello again and welcome. Rich Slaughter alongside Frank Nobilo, set to bring you all the action for today's event. Frank, when you think about the TPC Scottsdale, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
The golf course has been radically changed in 2014, but it still hasn't lost its luster. Really, it's just been updated like the game itself for these young, strong players of the modern era.
Now at the par 4 11th, Frank, I really like this hole.
Well, you might be the only one, Rich, because this is an absolute scorecard wrecker. Water all the way down the left side. There's two bunkers. Don't worry about that. They're not off the tee. They're around the green. They protect the left front and the back. If you think you can bail out down the right side, well, you could find cactus and all sorts of crazy things down the right. And believe me, go down there, more than anything, they'll wreck your scorecard as well.
So that sets up a tougher second shot, missing the fairway with the drive, now in the rough. This is 130 yards out. Frank, even at major championships, a good crowd on a single day might be 25 to 30,000. Consider this for just a moment. At the TPC Scottsdale in 2013, round number 3 on Saturday, almost 180,000 fans jammed into that ballpark.
It's hard to imagine that's twice the gate at a Super Bowl on a golf course. Now, obviously, some of it's hidden because of the size of the acreage, but golf just doesn't get that type of crowds anywhere else in the world. But it works at TPC Scottsdale. They have a crowd that keeps going back. They have the Bird's Nest, for example, that goes there. The parties that ring around there. It's an atmosphere that golf never gets anywhere else, but it really works there. The players feel it too. They breathe it. And this is 1 week of the year, just 1 week, where they do feel like superstars.
It's a mix of soft spikes and stiletto heels. There's nothing quite like the TPC Scottsdale. Okay, good shot on the dance floor. And getting ready for the putt. Good roll. Solid. That's a par. Well, Frank, this is kind of the forgotten par 3 on the back 9 here at TPC Scottsdale. All of that attention on hole number 16. What do you think of the par 3 12th?
This is by far tougher, Rich. Downhill tee shot, especially off that back tee. Bunkering down the left, sort of it catches your eye, but it also takes your eye off the water, which is behind and to the right of this green. Got to be careful. This is a real sleeper, this par 3.
We haven't seen a whole lot of that, Frank, but that has to feel good. Par 5 13th, chance for birdie or maybe even eagle if you're bold and brave enough, but also, Frank, chance for disaster here?
Well, there is. Water very much in play down the right side. There's a bunker down the left too. If you finish up in that, there's no way you're going for this par 5 and 2. Then it becomes a little bit of a zigzag mission. The second shot either has to be hit down the right side, just skirting that bunker in the front, or it has to be all carry.
He just blasted that one down the fairway. Out there about 325 yards. Good lie in the fairway, a good chance to make something happen here.
This is not heading in the right direction.
It looks like it's going to be in the rough. That was a big, bold strike, and now a chance for a big, bold move. Putt for eagle coming up. Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
Speed wasn't bad on that long putt, but the read wasn't very good. See if he can get something going here. 2 straight birdies. Wow, I thought he made that. Well, that would have been a bonus had it gone in, but still, reasonable chance for par here.
Yeah, there's no damage. You're not going to birdie every hole.
Locked in on the read and the speed. Solid par. Par 4 14th, and Frank, this hole packs a little punch, doesn't it?
Yeah, the addition of just a little bit more yardage, plus the bunker on the left has been pushed out into the fairway, actually makes the hole play a little bit longer than its 490 yards. Second shot is a little bit uphill. No longer is there a bunker on the right side. That side of the green is actually open. But you don't really want to be trying to miss that green on the right. Should you decide to go at the flag, well, you're going to have to carry that front bunker. Oh, that's it. New member of the 300-yard club.
Good poke right there. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Frank, this is just a pleasure to watch. A player hitting on all cylinders at the top of his game.
Notice it's just flowing too. There's not a lot of deep analysis going through his mind. Just one step in front of the other. If your swing's there, you don't have to find it. If your putting stroke's there, you don't have to find it. Just let it happen.
Midway through this back nine, could use this birdie here at the 14th. Par yesterday, now for birdie. That was a good-looking putt, just not falling right now.
Sadly, he's going to be disappointed.
Just a couple of feet. That is a solid par putt. So 2 rounds in the books. Frank, that was fun.
It certainly was. It bodes well for the weekend. Saw a lot of good players that seem to actually have a good fit for this golf course. That bodes well for the next 36 holes.
Presented by EA Sports in association with the PGA Tour. Simply put, there is nothing like it in the game of golf. It is by far the biggest spectator event in the sport. We're at TPC Scottsdale in Scottsdale, Arizona. Hello again and welcome. Rich Lerner alongside my friend and colleague Frank Nobilo. And Frank, what can you tell us about this golf course?
Well, everybody wants to know about 16, the famed par 3 here, surrounded by those skyboxes. Once again, that'll be a topic of the day. But really, this is a regular sight for the PGA Tour. So those of you that were familiar with the golf course, it's now changed. 2014, the designers Morris and Weiskopf did a massive renovation.
Well over 100,000 fans every day, better than 500,000 for the week. It's a giant party mixed in with a heck of a tournament. That's a good spot right there.
Center cut. Oh, that had some meat behind it.
Chance to set himself up for a good scoring opportunity with his second shot here.
Should be safely on deck.
And it makes the green in regulation. Now this for birdie, came away with par in the previous round. Very well done, almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Frank, you can see by the reaction, it has been that kind of week. Just a few too many pars. Now to the second par 3 on the front nine. This is the 7th hole.
Yeah, quite a stiff par 3 because of the narrowness in the front, really favouring a higher shot that's going to land softly, and therefore you can open up that green, because the further back you go, the wider it gets.
Nice approach shot. He'll be happy with that. Boy, this could be a tough one right here, Frank.
It's a very long putt, Rich. Obviously, it's difficult, but he still has a shot to sink this one for birdie. Had every chance of going in. Really. This is an awkward length.
Well, Frank, it's our job to get excited.
You can't when you leave it short, though.
I'm sad.
He's making my job hard.
Well, not going to make par here. He needs this to only give up one. Frank, it has been that kind of a tournament. Another bogey. Now here at the par 4 8th, slight dogleg to the left, Frank.
And this dogleg's made more severe now by the addition of two bunkers. This was a bunkerless hole off the tee in years gone by, but those two bunkers certainly make this a sharper dogleg. And because it forces the player to go down the right side, adds length to the already long 475 yards.
Good strike, good lie, good chance to attack the pin. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
This is a good-looking shot. Safely aboard. See if he can go one better than yesterday when he made par. This putt for birdie. Has the birdie, now at 1 under par for the tournament. Here at the par 4 9th hole, Frank, what's the strategy off the tee?
Well, there's one bunker down the right side that you have to be very wary of. 325 yards to carry that, so it's very much in play, and just over 290 to reach it. Ideally, you have to go left about that down the left side. But really, this is a second shot hole because this green is not very deep. Game's about rhythm. When you have good rhythm, it just looks effortless. To hit the ball 300 yards through the air. That easy.
Excellent start off the tee. That's a great way to begin this hole. Second shot. Good look at the green. That's how you play the game, right there. Stick it in close and then knock in the birdie. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. Frank, we haven't seen a whole lot of that, but no doubt it feels good. Excellent front side, trying to keep it going here on the second nine.
He's just playing beautifully, hitting so many good shots, giving himself so many opportunities. Can he keep it going?
Not the best shot, this one in the rough, but still will have a play from there. I have this at about 125 yards. Well, this one is offline just a bit. Look out. You know, that one is going to end up in the rough. Into the thick stuff, that's a difficult lie. Frank, this is where the mental game really comes into play. You've hit a second consecutive shot into the rough.
This could compound very, very quickly, so now's a chance to just take a little breath, take a breather, and try to make sure this shot certainly gets out.
And Frank, that steady play continues.
Rock solid. Excellent approach shot.
Just 5 feet left. In for par. Day 3, and what a tournament this is shaping up to be, Frank.
Quite simply, great weather, great golf, great fans, which is the perfect mix for a golfer trying to win a tournament. The final round, if this is anything to go by, has to just be sensational.
This is EA Sports coverage of the PGA Tour. Here at the TPC Scottsdale in Arizona, and Frank, when so many people tune in to watch this great event, they think immediately of the 16th hole with all of those fans jammed in. It's like Fenway Park inside the desert there, but it's much more than that little par 3, isn't it?
It certainly is more than that, Rich. The TPC Scottsdale is a great venue for a PGA Tour event. It's a blend of everything: birdie opportunities, holes that are fraught by water, bunkering that's been changed. All in all, it's a great atmosphere with nearly 500,000 people that visit this during the tournament week.
Now at the par 5 15th, and Frank, there is plenty to catch your eye. There's also quite a bit to catch your ear. You can hear the roars at the par 3 16th. So how do you focus on the task at hand?
Great question, Rich. You realize you're about to enter the stadium part of the golf course. But this is the last par 5 that you're going to play. We've seen eagles here over the years. We've seen many a player hit it in the water off the tee or water short of the green. Certainly one of the tougher tee shots coming in. No bunkers here to worry about, just that huge lake to the left. Find the fairway. You might just find the green. Oh, I liked that. Long and straight.
That's how you do it.
Now from a good position in the fairway, his second shot. Frank, that is how it's done.
Yeah, take a gross of those. That is a lesson in itself.
And now a chance for eagle. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus.
Well, hello there. What's an eagle?
Might be languishing in the middle of the pack, but at least celebrate that.
Frank, the one moment that sort of made the 16th hole what it is today would have to be Tiger's ace in 1997 here at the TPC Scottsdale when it was raining plastic cups.
It was also his reaction, too, and that ushered in the Tiger Woods era that we became associated with, which is the fist-pumping, the Rory spectators. I mean, he was one of the few players that bridged the gap between spectator and golf course. And it still goes on till today. And I think Rory Mcllroy probably is the only other player that starts to broach that type of inside and outside atmosphere with golf.
Still to this day, it's the loudest single moment that I can ever remember hearing on a golf course. Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green.
Oh, can't hide the flagstick from that man.
So a tester from 4 feet. Just playing excellent golf. 5 under for the tournament. Frank, when you get to the 17th hole, we always recall maybe the single most bizarre shot in the history of golf.
Yeah, everybody talks about maybe a hole-in-one at 16, but really 17. And the player was Andrew McGee. It was a good tee shot, don't get me wrong. But Rich, it needed an assist.
Well, the assist came from Tom Byram, whose brother Kurt is a commentator for the Golf Channel. Tom Byram was just minding his own business, standing on the green, sort of leaning on his putter, and you know what happened.
Yeah, the ball hit Tom Byram's putter and then careened into the hole. So, 17. Made famous, a little bit of history with a couple of names to drag up from the past.
Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
Speed wasn't bad on that long putt, but the read wasn't very good. Made a par in his previous round. This time, it's for birdie.
That was a good run at it, Rich.
You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. And he makes it for par. Par 4 18th, and Frank, if you are trying to win the tournament out here at TPC Scottsdale, this is all you want down the stretch.
It is. There's a short bunker there, obviously for the recreational player to respect. 3 bunkers down the right side protected, and that new bunkering situation down the left there to stop the attack of a Bubba Watson or a JB Holmes. Now this tee shot is going to have to be respected, and the green too is anything other than flat. He's gone for a little extra.
I mean, that is one of the hardest drives I have ever seen. Just let it rip. He has just hammered this drive here at the 18th, and now he is in a really good position to make a birdie here in the final hole.
There's a big green, and they're going to use every inch of it.
Yes, he's holed it, Frank.
Unbelievable. From that distance.
So that concludes the final round here at this spectacular setting. Frank, final thoughts on the tournament?
Rich, I thought this was really a fantastic venue that challenged the players, and we saw some exciting golf out there all across the board.
NBC Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live opening round coverage of the Arnold Palmer Invitational.
That appeared to be a good strike right there, Frank.
Oh, good. It's just towering. Look at that hanging in the sky.
That's a good start to the hole, right down the middle. Playing his second shot here at the par 5.
Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. That one ends up in the rough.
Oh, that went sideways.
Set to go. Not an easy shot by any means. Frank, this is what they call a short field, just 120 players, because it's an invitational, one of only 5 tournaments on the PGA Tour with invitational status.
Yeah, it's not just any invitational, too. It's an invitation from the king.
What's it look like, Frank?
Judging by that lean, Rich, this has got to be going right.
Not terrible, but not his best.
Yeah, outside chance, really, for birdie, but really, it was a rather poor approach shot.
So a long putt there and just didn't read it quite right.
Even par, currently. Oh, that's a shot gone forever.
Clean this up with a tap. So that's a bogey, and now to 1 over par for the tournament. And now over to the 5th. With a key stretch of holes ahead, our featured golfer really has struggled in the early going, Frank.
Yeah, a few mistakes out there, unforced errors you might want to say. So really, attention to detail should be the concern right now.
Frank, that ball's sitting up like it's on plush carpeting.
Rich, if you and I had lies like that every time, we'd still be playing this game for a living.
Frank, what about this approach shot here at the 5th?
One of the few holes where you get a short iron in your hand for that second shot, but that green slopes away at about a 45-degree angle to the right, which makes distance control paramount here at 5.
Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. Well, that's how you play the game right there. Knock it on the green and give yourself a good look at birdie. And getting ready for the putt. That had to really hurt, Frank, because it looked good all the way.
Well, this will test his mettle.
Just a couple of feet. Frank, you can see by the reaction, it has been that kind of week. Just a few too many pars. Frank, back in 1998, By any chance, do you remember exactly how many golf balls John Daly hit into the water at the 6th?
It was half a dozen. Half a box of golf balls. He's loading up on it.
Look at the coil there. Are you kidding me? Come on, you can't hit a ball that hard.
That is crushing it beyond all crushing. Whoa, that is long.
Excellent drive, Frank. Right where you want to be. Looks like he's going to have a go at it here at the par 5, his second shot. Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
Frank landed it on the green.
It was never going to stop.
No, no chance.
And an awkward little bunker shot. Just splash it out, let the ball run towards the flag.
What a great bunker shot. Frank, best bunker players that you've ever seen.
Most of them South African. Gary Player, Ernie Els, David Frost. Just have a great feel. A little bit like what we just saw there.
Suddenly a ray of sunshine with that birdie.
There was hope. And on the top 25.
Moving on now, Frank, we're at the par 3 7th hole. What's the challenge here?
Really, the high ball hitters have an advantage here. Just try and carry it in the middle of the green. There's a bunker over there.
I think he's headed for it. Sometimes you get breaks, and he got one right there.
Yeah, I guess the bunker was a little smaller than I thought it was. It looked doomed for that.
But he's going for back-to-back birdies here, trying to jumpstart this round.
Some momentum moving in the right direction.
You couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. Getting set now over the putt. That's a par, and that keeps the scorecard clean, still even for the round. Frank, as you step to the tee here at the 8th, what are you seeing?
Another hole that suits the long hitter, Rich. That bunker just over 300 yards. The further you get down there, the shorter club you have in over the water.
Nicely played shot, about 310 yards down the fairway. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. So a chance for birdie after another solid approach shot.
It's at sneaky distance.
Well, you're not going to make that putt all the time, but you'd like to at least get it to the hole.
If he keeps putting like that, he's going to be an announcer in no time.
He'll take par and move on. Finishing up here on the front side at Bay Hill with a lengthy par 4. What's the key, Frank?
Well, the hole's relatively flat, but the rough on the right comes into play. If you can carry that ball 300 yards, then just take it in over the bunker.
That one is bunker bound, it looks like. Just a bit offline and into the bunker. Not missing by much today, but enough to again be in the bunker. Missed the fairway in the fairway bunker now.
It's not all gloom and doom, though. Lip isn't too high. A good swing here still shouldn't be a problem.
Oh, no, look out, Frank. I think he flushed that one.
Oh, this is going, gone.
Well, too bad, Frank. That one rolled right off the green.
It was just coming out so hot.
Frank, in golf, as we know, there's short grass and there's long grass. We all want to be in that short grass, but it doesn't always work out that way. So what's the most important element from the shot, from the rough?
You have to be a little bit more conservative first and foremost, because you can't guarantee a perfect strike out of the long grass. So therefore you have to look around the greens, maybe short, to the right, to the left, and realize what's involved. And also just give yourself a slightly bigger target. I mean, this skill, and that was sublime.
Just good hands, coming out of the rough, able to manage the distance, and now in great position. Still playing even for the day after the par. Frank, that wraps up another great day of golf here at the Bay Hill Club and Lodge. Always enjoy it.
Yeah, it's always a great test. Win, lose, or draw, you've played the King's Golf Course.
Couldn't have said it better myself. From all of us here at EA Sports, I'm Rich Lerner. For Frank Nobilo, until next time.
NBC Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. It's second-round coverage of the Arnold Palmer Invitational. We're at the Bay Hill Club and Lodge in Orlando, Florida, site of one of the PGA Tour's premier stops, the Arnold Palmer Invitational. Always attracting a great field, and through the years it has been the scene of just some championship play from one guy in particular.
Tiger Woods has won there an incredible 8 times.
Well, you're breathing a sigh of relief. Your round wasn't sunk at the par 5/6, and now you come to this par 3. It's just a little under 200 yards.
Yeah, aiming at the middle of the green's not a bad thing here, Rich. You can always putt to the corners and have a birdie chance.
You take 3 and walk off this hole to the 8th?
Well, you could get a little greedy. You know, a tee shot in the middle of this green is not too bad. You'll still have a birdie putt.
Good-looking shot right here. He's making the game look very simple right now. See it, hit it, and he's got it right on track. Not a gimme, but well within his range. Setting himself up for a good weekend, the wily golf instructor makes his birdie. Getting ready to tee off now at the 8th, and Frank, this hole has a little bit of everything.
Yeah, even though it's a pretty hole, Rich, it's a fairway you must hit because that second shot here is one of the toughest on the golf course.
Look at this. Look at all the power in that coil. That's a good spot right there.
Center cut.
Second shot. Good look at the green. This is just a superb performance. Great round to this point, Frank, and you can really see that reflected in his mood today.
Yeah, it just looks too easy. Swinging the club beautifully. Ball's going exactly where he wants it to. He's not trying to take too many risks. So consequently, he's getting birdie opportunity after birdie opportunity.
That's a solid shot here into the 8th hole, and a good chance now for another birdie. Birdie putt coming up. Had a par on this hole yesterday. Wow, he got robbed, Frank.
No, it's like kissing your mother-in-law.
Makeable putt right here. He is currently sitting at 1 under for the round. Never a bad score on the card. That's par. It's a consistent theme here at Bay Hill, if you can carry it 300 yards.
Bay Hill always favors the longer hitter.
Frank, what's so compelling about rivalries in sports is that athletes need each other if they're going to go to great heights. Joe Frazier needed Muhammad Ali to solidify his legend. Jack Nicklaus probably needed Arnold Palmer to go to a place that he had not been. And I think that's true across the board as we look at rivalries in sports.
I think it defines careers, Rich. It's not until those players retire that they realised how important it was to have that foe. You know, so often we're living in the present like we are now with Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy. And it's not for years to come that we'll realise the sport wouldn't have been the same with one without the other.
Headed for the bunker, I think. In the bunker, still with a chance for an up and down. So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. Let's see if he does it here.
Well, Frank, obviously our gamer is one of the best from the bunkers, but for the average player out there, what's the mistake they too often make when trying to play a bunker shot?
Well, it's the only shot in golf where you're not trying to hit the ball. You're trying to hit the sand first, but it means the club has to go through the sand on both sides. Take a nice little divot with the ball in the middle.
Been a little too much of that, Frank, just sort of ho-hum pars. Back here in Orlando, Florida, at the Bay Hill Club and Lodge. Springtime in Florida can mean only one thing, Frank. Perfect golf weather. How do you get off to a perfect start on this backside?
Well, this is one of the few holes that actually shapes to the right. Most of the holes at Bay Hill are dogleg lefts. For the faint of heart, just sort of flick an iron down there, just sort of short of the bunkers. If you're feeling a little ambitious, just take it over that one on the right. Just a wedge in here.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special. Looks like it's heading for the bunker.
He just missed the bunker. Made par yesterday. This one for birdie. Frankie took plenty of time on this birdie putt. He looked at it from 3 different angles. He forgot one very important ingredient.
Yeah, pace. You can definitely fall in love with the line, even with approach shots as well, but obviously we see it more on putting.
That is a solid par putt. Third round coverage comes your way tomorrow on EA Sports. For Frank Nobilo and our entire crew, I'm Rich Lerner saying so long for now. NBC Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup.
Today, it's live third-round coverage of the Arnold Palmer Invitational.
Welcome to the King's Palace, Arnold Palmer's Bay Hill Club and Lodge, Frank, right in the heart of Orlando, Florida.
Yeah, for so long it has been the showcase for Florida golf. Of course, the King's Palace, and it has produced many a great champion over the years.
Frank, the good news as you come to the 7th after that beast of a par 5 is that it's just under 200 yards and there's no water.
Yeah, it's not as long as the second, but it's just as demanding. Very narrow entry into this green.
It is the house that Arnold built, the Bay Hill Club and Lodge. Arnold's summer home is actually in western Pennsylvania, Latrobe Country Club. That's where he grew up. He came to Central Florida in the 1970s and fell in love with this piece of ground. He bought it, and he's grown it ever since, and now it is host to one of the premier stops on the PGA Tour. Big, strong golf course. You have to really be a good ball striker and generally one of the longer hitters to be successful around here. That was a good-looking putt, just not falling right now.
Sadly, he's going to be disappointed.
Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. And that's in for a par. Frank, how about the 8th par 4, one of the more intriguing setups?
Ideally, you want to just work your tee shot away from that bunker. But this is one fairway you must hit because it's one of the toughest seconds. Well, when he goes after it like he is here.
Are you kidding me? Come on, you can't hit a ball that hard.
That is crushing it beyond all crushing.
He has given this one the full treatment. Perfect release through the ball. This shot is on the fairway, over 300 yards. Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
That's still not done. A good third shot. Maybe get away here with par.
Third shot, looking for a good one. Frank, well off the pace, but the true professionals, they keep digging, trying to get better. Rounding out the front 9 here at Bay Hill, 474-yard par 4. Frank, you've played this hole before. Where are you lining up when you step onto the tee here?
There's an out of bounds all the way down the left side that you have to be cognizant of. But that bunker, 290 yards carries it. And yet again, another hole that favors the long hitter.
Getting set for this next shot from the rough, what does the player need to be careful of here, Frank?
Well, this is where we're going to see exactly how good they are because, you know, that's not exactly the best lie, but it's sort of doable if you know what you're doing.
So missed the fairway, and now he's back where he needs to be.
Yeah, minimize the problems.
Chance to get it close here. Frank, can you recall a situation where before an important round, an instructor gave you one small tweak, maybe flare your left toe out, or just shift a little bit of the weight onto the back foot, where the instructor gave you that one small bit of advice and it made a huge difference?
Yeah, the list is too long, Rich, and it's normally just someone that you've trusted over the years, and we all make just little bad habits. Sometimes you're stooped over a little bit more than normal. You're not standing tall enough. The ball is too far back in your stance or too far forward. You're making a funny little move, or your grip is different. It's always the little things that add up to the big problem.
Workmanlike hole, he walks away with a par. Just a perfect springtime day here in Orlando, Florida. We're at the Bay Hill Club and Lodge. Frank, how do you get off to the perfect start on this second 9 here?
One of the few holes here that actually moves to the right, so a little cut off those two bunkers. Either that, or if you can fly the ball 280, 285, you can take it over the right. Oh, just an iron.
No fairway here, this one in that rough. Second shot coming out of the rough here. Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
Frank, how did he do there?
Well, he's inside 30 feet, but 27 feet, it's not exactly what you'd call close. When you consider the length of that putt, that's a good putt.
Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Well, Frank, he'll drop at least one shot here. That was not his best effort.
No, poor is the easiest way to put that. He knows it.
Frank, it has been that kind of a tournament. Another bogey. Frank, 440-yard par 4 11th. You see that number on the card, you think driver. Maybe not. Why?
Yeah, it's imperative you hit the fairway here, Rich. Water obviously in play left, two bunkers on the right. This is a second shot hole.
Frank, did you hear the sound of that coming off the club face?
It was like a cannon. Oh, that's fine.
Not the longest, but not bad. 295 yards in the fairway. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on that. Easy birdie.
Made a par in his previous round. This time, it's for birdie. Starting to make the move, now to -3 with yet another birdie. Teeing it up here on the 12th, 574-yard par 5, Frank.
Another one that's reachable, obviously long and straight. That rough down the right side, though, is normally very thick. Avoid the two bunkers, lots of contours and undulations around this green. You know, this is not heading in the right direction.
No, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. Wayward from the tee, and this one is headed for the rough, Frank. Second shot from the rough. It's on the way. Not what he wanted, but he's headed to the beach. Third shot now from the bunker. Oh, it looked like he caught a flyer right there, Frank.
Well, I don't know what he caught, but this is way too much.
Well, Frank, you hate to miss the green on a par 5 with your third shot.
Well, they say par 5s are the easiest holes to birdie, but the hardest holes to make 4. Making a 6, though, well, that certainly sets yourself backwards. So tough up and down.
Great execution. Right out of the bunker and right next to the hole. This from about 10 feet. Been a little too much of that, Frank. Just sort of ho-hum pars. Don't forget the final round comes your way tomorrow. For our entire crew, so long for now. NBC Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live final round coverage of the Arnold Palmer Invitational. Headed for the bunker? Well, the tee shot has landed in the bunker. digs in, ready for the bunker shot.
Yeah, second shot here. Just try and aim a little bit behind that ball, an inch or two.
Good looking shot right here. So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and Frank, you've just hit one out of bounds. What's the way to approach this next shot?
Try and get the steam out of your ears for a start.
Now this will be counted as the 4th shot after going OB on that previous shot. That is a painful miss right there. And a bogey, drop shot here at the 13th. Getting set now over the putt. So not his best work. He'll walk away with a bogey. Frank, as we come to the 14th of par 3, what's ahead for the players?
Once again, another tough par 3 coming up. Narrow at the front. It gets a little wider the further you go up this green.
And he's set up for his second shot here, looking to knock it on the green. And he's made it onto the green now. Not a gimme, but well within his range. And he has it.
A good putt redeems all.
Frank, deep in the round at the 15th, you need to maybe make something happen. How difficult is that with such a huge dog like here?
Once again, make sure you know the distance to carry the bunker or run out. You got to play to your strength.
He has given this one the full treatment. Perfect release through the ball. And this shot is on the fairway, over 300 yards. All right, the winds are starting to pick up. Frank, you've played in conditions all over the world. What's the right way to approach it?
Well, you've really got to find out, first of all, the direction of the wind, and you have to be certain of it right now. And plus, if there's a gust, that's something you can't, you've got no control over.
Not terrible, but not his best.
Yeah, outside chance, really, for birdie, but really, it was a rather poor approach shot.
That was a good-looking putt, just not falling right now.
Sadly, he's going to be disappointed.
Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. He'll take par and move on. We've seen guys through the years below the tournament right on this hole.
Yeah, if you get a little too greedy here, you try and make eagle. It's sometimes with a good tee shot, it's an easy. Well, when he goes after it like he is here.
That is a heat-seeking missile right there. Wow.
Well, that's got to be 300 yards, isn't it? Second shot.
This one looks like it might have a postage stamp on it. Airmail City.
Yeah, lick it. Send it. That just came out blazing. As soon as it hit the green, it was never going to stop.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
See if you can get this one to drop here at the 16th for a birdie. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. Made a good run at birdie. He'll have to focus now. Try to walk away with the par. And getting ready for the putt. Workmanlike hole. He walks away with a par. Frank, deep into a round, par 3 17th, water, bunkers, long shot. What are you thinking as you're stepping on this tee?
You just take 3 and move to 18.
You can hear it right off the center of the club face. This has a chance to be close. Good, clean contact and a nice result. And a chance for birdie coming up. This one measures out to 15 feet. Well, that would have been a bonus had it gone in, but still, reasonable chance for par here.
Yeah, there's no damage. You're not going to birdie every hole. Virtually no error in that putting stroke. Good putt.
You know, Tiger was born on the same day as LeBron James, December 30th. And he's had his share of slam dunks, especially on the 18th hole here at Bay Hill.
Yeah, he's just a perfect fit for the golf course. You'd think every now and again he fears left, but he doesn't fear left at Bay Hill. We've seen his best golf over the years, over the last 15 or so years. To win there 8 times, nobody's come close to that. Ernie Els, one of the great players in the world, has won it twice.
Frank, did you hear the sound of that coming off the club face?
It was like a cannon.
Oh, this looks good.
Certainly is.
Nicely played shot, about 310 yards down the fairway. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag. This looks like it's going to find the target.
Great way to finish off the final approach shot with a birdie opportunity. Par yesterday, now for birdie.
Oh, good roll, good putt.
So another tournament in the books, Frank, and what'd you make of this one?
Quality venue once again, Rich. The standard of courses we're seeing is excellent, and consequently, it's enabling the players to really play some great golf. So, I think golf's the winner today.
limitless. The ability to break free. To experience golf in ways you never thought possible. Taking your game to levels once only dreamed of. Welcome to the next generation of golf. This is EA Sports Rory McIlroy PGA Tour. Hello again, everyone. This is Rich Lerner here to walk you through some lessons on how to play EA Sports Rory McIlroy PGA Tour. We'll start with lessons that teach you how to set up different shots. Let's get started. Today's coverage brought to you by EA Sports and the PGA Tour. Just a spectacular setting here in the Pacific Northwest. We're at Chambers Bay in University Place, Washington. And Frank, what can you tell us about this golf course?
Well, it's almost like a nature walk out there. It's built amongst these wonderful sand dunes. As far as trees are concerned, there's only one really that comes into play. The rest are all in the distance, so you feel very much at one with the elements. It's kind of nice, actually, just going for a little stroll out there like that. Refreshing.
So we're ready to get the round going here at Chambers Bay, and we'll begin, Frank, at the first with a par 4.
496 yards, obviously that'll stretch anybody out there. That bunker down the right is very much in play. The fairway does narrow out too, just short of that. So this really is going to require one of your best tee shots. Semi-blind second shot, a relatively big green.
What a drive. Just tattooed that. Let's see what the dominant number one player can do. Rory McIlroy now on the approach shot.
There's a big green, and they're going to use every inch of it.
Not close, but not bad either. That one's about 25 feet away. Settles in over the putt. Frank, he might like this one. Bang, right in the back of the cup, Frank.
Unbelievable.
Now at the second and a medium length par 4, Frank.
Yeah, a slight dogleg to the left, rather long, skinny green here, well bunkered all the way down the left side. Really anything down the right and the natural contours of the land should kick that ball a little to the left.
Beautiful looking shot right here. Wow, smoked that tee shot. Let's see what McIlroy does now with his second. So on the putting surface, and taking a good look now at this birdie putt here at the second.
Frank going for another birdie here.
Just to get on a real roll. Just when you think you're going to make birdie, now have to really concentrate on this and at least make par.
11 feet away. Routine stuff for Rory. That's a par. At the third tee now, Frank, and what are we staring at here?
This green is anything other than symmetrical, so be very, very cautious on where the flag is. Anything in the middle of the green you can putt to the corners. Well, if you can call them corners, more like ragtails, but beautiful par 3.
There are a number of really good and important grow the game initiatives out there. One of those is the First Tee program, and that allows youngsters who otherwise might not have an opportunity, the chance to put a golf club in their hands, allows them the chance to pick up this game and learn some of the core values that come along with it. It's about much more than making a score. It's about integrity. It is about responsibility, values like that. And this game is just so good in instilling those kind of characteristics in young people. This is a good-looking shot. Frank, it hit the green, but just didn't have enough backspin.
You wonder what he's thinking on that.
Perfect, and in the hole. What a shot. Frank, here on the 4th tee, you get a good look, don't you, at what Chambers Bay really is all about.
It's framed beautifully, Rich, by the bunkers there, left, short, off the tee, plus the ones down the right side. You can see everything in front of you, but the hole does bend to the right. This is another one where you've got a generous fairway, but don't be fooled by that. It's fairway first.
Tough par 4 measuring 495 yards.
Going for a little extra. Oh, huge.
Ooh.
Huge with a capital H.
Busted that. I mean, he just blasted it down the fairway, well over 325 yards. He's knocked it on the green, but not in a great position. This is a difficult chance coming up here. Long birdie try. This is a cross-country special. Always so frustrating when you hit a putt that comes up that short. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Well, that's disappointing. He misses the par putt, and he'll have this for bogey. This to avoid a huge number. This is for bogey. Now at 1 under for the round. Well, Frank, here at the 5th, and I'm not sure about my chances at a hole that's called free fall. I mean, are you kidding?
Well, should be free fall for you, that's for sure, and free fall for a lot of people playing it today. Hole looks straight away, but you'll see it starts to pinch in, that fairway that is, by bunkers left and right, and those bunkers come in exactly where you're trying to hit your tee shot. Yeah, Rory's like a car that just has an extra gear. You know, if you've got five-speed gearbox, Rory's got 6. If you've got a 6-speed gearbox, he's got 7.
He's the souped-up Ferrari or Lamborghini. He can go. He's Formula One.
What a great shot.
Just blasted that tee ball, Frank. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Frank, the USGA was determined to hold a U.S. Open in the state of Washington. It had never hosted one before.
And it's determined, too, to go to sites that are more natural. And we saw that with Pinehurst in 2014, the restoration by Core and Crenshaw, and we're seeing it with Chambers Bay. These are golf courses, I think, that any level of players can go out and play, rather than the US Opens of the sort of the 80s and the 90s that were just so stringent.
That had to really hurt, Frank, because it looked good all the way.
Well, this will test his mettle.
And getting ready for the putt. Good stroke right there. That's a par and stays at 1 under. Getting set to hit the tee shot here at the 6th at Chambers Bay. Frank, where are you looking to land the ball off the tee here?
There's a nice dune down that left side that sort of gives you a good line that you can work the ball off here. But remember, this is a links golf course, so you don't try and fight Mother Nature because she'll always win. So just anything down the left, let that ball sort of kick its way back towards the middle of the fairway. A lengthy par 4, though, at 495.
Frank, that's as good as I have seen all day long.
I think we've got to blame that on the weather. The wind had to help that ball give it another 20, 30 yards.
Frank, what do you think about this approach here at the 6th?
Well, one of the few greens here that's protected on both sides. Rather narrow green, and you can see really what happens if you miss. Bunkers left and right. Plus there's a couple of ridges, so club selection is important here.
What a shot right there. Beautifully done. On the 7th tee now, it is over 500 yards from the back tee.
Yeah, this is called humpback, and you can see why. There's all those mounds and undulations between you and the hole, plus all that amazing bunkering down the right side. All to be avoided, really. If you can do that, then you get a decent look at this green. But yeah, you've mentioned it, 500 plus yards. It's going to play longer than that uphill.
Can't ask for much more here at the 7th. He has hit a good one. Setting up for the approach, this player in total command.
Yeah, it's beautiful. The decision-making, club selection's been spot on, but the execution, the swing, is really what I'm admiring right now.
So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. See if he does it here.
Frank, you like his chances to walk away with a par here?
Well, with a good shot, Rich, yeah, that's certainly on the cards in that. And you think you just write a par down at the end of the hole, don't tell anyone about it. It certainly won't affect the scorecard at the end of the day. So that's the goal right here. Safely on the dance floor.
You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. That is a painful bogey at the 7th hole. That takes him to 1 under on the day. Now to the 8th and a long par 5, Frank.
Fortunately, there's no bunkers, just the dunes either side. The hole looks a little narrow off the tee, but get down there, you're going to realise that's a fairly generous fairway. There's a little bit of mounding in this green, too, that actually slopes it back towards the player. So use that to your advantage.
Well, that's the way you draw it up here at the 8th. You want to get it out there. He's done that, and he's kept it in the fairway. Right in the heart of the fairway, green light special. Frank, I think what sets golf apart from other sports is that the fan can get so close to the great athlete as the round is being played.
Yeah, well, that's why the sport itself, and we consider it more intimate for that reason. You know, most golf spectators play the game. Whereas other sports, you don't see NFL players sitting in the grandstand. You see spectators, but most golf fans are golfers. Ah, nice.
Looks good. Well, that's how you do it. Hit it close, take the pressure off that putt. That one should be no problem. Not a gimme, but well within his range. Takes it to 3 under for the day. Finishing up our front side here at the 9th, it's a par 3. And Frank, how would you describe this hole?
Well, it's an absolute stunner, really, because of the views. And this is where you realise that links golf, minus trees and minus some of the things we see on other golf courses, can still look absolutely beautiful. But Don't look at the scenery too much because you've got, well over 200 yards here. Even though it's elevated, it still requires a good tee shot, but a little two here, and you might just have yourself a good outward 9.
Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. Good chance now for a birdie. That was an outstanding play.
Well, it's almost a guarantee there after that shot.
Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. That's a birdie for McIlroy. He's just so explosive. Excellent front side, trying to keep it going here on the second 9.
He's just playing beautifully, hitting so many good shots, giving himself so many opportunities. Can he keep it going?
In the fairway here at the 10, nice way to start off the back 9. Let's see what McIlroy does now with his second. On the green, and a chance for birdie. Now a 7-footer. Wow, that hurt.
It did. Shot gone forever.
Has this to save par. Did the job right there. Well, here we are at the 11th. Frank, this is a brutally long par 4.
And a little bit blind, too. There's that big dune in the middle of the fairway, and it's sort of a bit daunting. You're not quite sure what's behind that. Well, what is behind that is actually fairway. And just carry it over there. That'll certainly shorten the hole up. And then from there, it's a little bit of a dogleg to the right. Oh, he's winding this one up. Does he have the power, though?
Uh-oh, this one's going left, Frank. You have to think he'll be happy with that, given that it looked like it was headed right for the rough.
Yeah, it looked like that was the only place it was going to finish. But, well, it's a little bit unexplainable. Let's see what he does from here now. Lucky break.
Frank, can one small tweak from an instructor lead to a big turnaround?
With the right player, yeah. You just want to hear the right message. It's like anyone in life. You just want to be pointed in the right direction.
Just a bit offline here, Frank, but not too bad.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the wind or just the lie there. Should be okay.
That was a solid strike and a good result. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. Playing some outstanding golf right now. That's another birdie and 5 under par. The 12th here at Chambers Bay is known as the Narrows. What's the play here, Frank?
Two, really. You could just sort of iron it down there, have a little wedge or a pitch in there with no sweat whatsoever. Or, if you want to have a little bit of fun, if you can drive it over that bunker that's just short left of this green, you might just putt for an eagle. There's a bunker over there.
I think he's headed for it. Couldn't have done much better than that. An eagle is very possible. It's a very makeable putt here. He is currently 5 under for his round. So with that make, now at 7 under par. 13th hole now, it's a dogleg right, par 4. Frank?
But at 534 yards, you need an eagle eye, which is the name of the hole, to find exactly where you want to hit this. Doglegs to the right. There is a fairway that's plenty wide to accept a good tee shot. And then from there on in, it's actually a relatively straightforward second shot, providing you can miss that bunker that's just short in the middle of the green.
Excellent start off the tee. That's a great way to begin this hole. Frank, a bunker in front of the green here. So how does that impact what the player's going to do?
Well, it's not just the bunker, too. It's the ridges left and right that are going to repel a shot. So if you go too far left of that bunker in front of the green or too far right, that ball's going to kick all the way off the green. So really, that bunker's a good line, but you've got to carry it.
Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. On the green, and looking at a birdie opportunity. He can really get red hot with a putter. Let's see what Mcllroy does. Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Frank, this is the 5th par 4 in a row, and they're not easy. This one here at 14, really a daunting tee shot.
It is. That's why it's called Cape Fair. A true Cape hole in golf, Rich, is when you've got to decide how much you want to bite off when you hit across a slight dogleg. And this one, really, you're going to be rewarded the further left you can go. There is one little bunker in the middle of the fairway that you have to avoid. That's going to be 320 or so yards off the tee. This hole, 546 yards, you're going to see a variety of second shots, or the length of second shots here, determined purely by the bravery of the tee shot.
That appeared to be a good strike right there, Frank.
Oh, good. It's just towering. Look at that, hanging in the sky.
Beautiful rhythmic swing right there, and right down Peachtree. Frank, what do you want to do with the approach here at the 14th?
Just use that, the mounding that's sort of supplied there in front of you, the right side of the screen, maybe kick it towards it. There is a, sort of runoff area to the left, but then all of a sudden you're in the sand. So keep the ball slightly right of center.
No problems there. Really good approach shot. And now, good look at birdie. And getting ready for the putt. Wrong time to be leaking oil here at the 14th hole, Frank.
Well, to state the obvious, too, that was very makeable. That's the one you'd expect to make more often than not. That's going to hurt.
Wow, I thought he made that. Well, that's disappointing. He misses the par putt, and he'll have this for bogey. Hard to be perfect in this game. That's a bogey. Frank, normally on a golf course, you don't want to spend too much time in the trees, with the trees, around the trees, but part of me wants to go up and hug this tree because he's all alone. It's the only tree on the whole golf course.
Well, I know you're a tree hugger, Rich, I really do. But at 246 yards, when they play this off the back tee at the US Open, believe me, nobody's hugging that tree. They're just trying to make three.
This is a good-looking shot. Oh, can't hide the flagstick from that man.
Second shot.
On fire right now. 7 under par. Now to the par 4, 423 yards, 16th hole. What's the right play, Frank?
Fairway first once again. You'll see the slope of the fairway from the left to the right side. It means move your aim down that left side. It'll make this fairway appear that much bigger. And, of course, then when you hit into this green, you're really going to have to flight that second shot properly. This is like a tabletop green.
I mean, he just blasted it down the fairway, well over 325 yards. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Really good distance control there, playing well to his strengths. Shouldn't be a problem here. Really has it going now. Back-to-back birdies. Frank, you don't need just a caddy out here at Chambers Bay. Seems like you need a sports psychologist. You start thinking about the names of these holes. Beached at 16, and what's 17 called?
Derailed, and you can see why too. That green's perched up there. If you've got the round going in the wrong direction, this is not a hole to start on. So if you've got a run going, it's just a good tee shot that lands around the front there, and you just take a three here. This is not a time to be a hero.
So 24 feet after that approach shot, Frank.
It's well, just outside the what you'd think very makeable distance.
You couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. Just a couple of feet. That is a solid par putt. Now to the 18th hole. Frank, everyone wants to finish in style.
Yeah, the home hole here, once again you head back to just a wonderful view, and you realize that Chambers Bay was designed as a walking golf course, and it was designed to have fun and test every department of your game. 18 will do that. It probably gives you more trouble on both sides of the hole than any other hole on the golf course.
Looks to be putting everything into this one. Just destroyed it. You knew it right away. Picked up the tee, didn't even look at it. We can see it. It's perfect. Right down the middle of the fairway. Now the game's #1 player, Rory Mcllroy, ready with his approach. Birdie try up next. Rory McIlroy looking to take advantage with this putt. You may have lost track at home, but we're keeping count, and that is 9 under for the day. Frank, solid effort today. What's your assessment?
Golf like that can certainly result in wins, that's for sure. But more importantly, the opportunity to get one.